Hey, this is a story about, sorry, all the things you shouldn't say, but you kind of want to say, but sometimes you do say, if you're someone like me. And, it's true what you're saying, but people don't want you to say it for some reason, which I've never really understood. So, yeah, come along if you want to fancy it. And, yeah. By the way, check out where I am. Called the Old Hall in Gainsborough, an old Tudor manor house. I wrote a story about some kids that end up in this place looking for an urban legend called the Grey Lady, so check that out if you fancy it. Yeah. Anyway, He Who Speaks, this is called. He Who Speaks by Kieran Marsden. When he put on the suit, he felt sad, and the world turned grey, though the suit was blue. Not how any 23-year-old is supposed to feel. Like life had already been spent. His mum thought he had taken the job for her. He hadn't. He wanted to see the world, but for now, Scandinavia would have to do. But he needed money, and wearing this blue suit for 6 months was how he was going to get it. "Are you ready yet? I've got to get to work too," came his mother's voice from the bottom of the stairs. He took slow steps, with a loose body that didn't seem to have a care in the world. "You look good. Try to show that you actually care," said his mother, as he gave a ridiculous smile. "And whatever you do, don't do that." "Now, try to be nice. Tom's doing me a favour." "What? You're saying I'm not there on merit?" "What do you mean?" "Well, I thought I was there because of my illustrious CV." "Well, I'm sad to say no, it isn't, Daniel." "Well, I'm just sad for all the other applicants that didn't get a look in, all because my mum knows the boss. It's a tough world. I guess it's true what they say. It's who you know, not what you know." "Well, more reason to be grateful, I guess. Have you slept with him?" "Daniel!" "What? I don't mean recently, I just mean in your life." "I am not going to talk about that with my son." Fair enough. And anyway, when have I ever not been nice?" "What?" "You said be nice. I'm always nice." His mum smiled a knowing smile at him. "I'm never mean, Mum. Never." No, but for some reason, you do annoy a hell of a lot of people." It's not my fault they can't handle reality." "Look, just be nice." "I am nice. Jeez." "Okay, whatever. Anyway, what's your day looking like, Mum?" I don't know, just another day, another dollar, I guess. Just Jerry's in." "And where's the big black lady with the legs?" "What?" "Well, you've mentioned Tom and Jerry this morning. I just thought I'd finish the cast off." "You really are strange, aren't you?" My mother, everybody. My mother. Anyway, what's wrong with Jerry?" "Well, he's a lazy Mother!" "Well, he is. And he's deliberately reduced his hours. Says he comes out with more if he works less than 20 hours a week." "Well, if that's true, you can barely blame him." "What? No, it's terrible. Just so I'm getting this right, he earns more money by working less hours." "So the guy says." "Well, why wouldn't he make that decision?" "It's the wrong attitude, okay?" "To hell with attitude. At the end of the day, Mum, what game are you in? The stacking shelves game or the making money game?" "I don't stack shelves anymore." "No, but you get my point. You go to work for the money. And if you can find a way to make more money, then you take that decision. And if that decision is working less hours, well, it's a no-brainer. You don't get it, do you, Daniel? You know, that's so typical of your generation. What? That we're not idiots? You do understand, Mum, that it's the way you're looking at things that is your own problem. Government and big companies, they stay rich off people like you, and they don't give a crap about you. The truth is, if everyone thought like Jerry, the government would have so much to pay out, the system would collapse. Nobody would be getting payouts. Then people like you, who do want to work, would reap the benefits and be a lot better off. Don't you see that? I think it's just awful. Fair enough, Mum. We're nearly there. What are you doing for lunch? Is there a cafe somewhere close by? I don't know. Probably. Have you got money? Yep, got my wallet. That doesn't mean you have money. I've got a little. Go into the glove compartment. I think there's a tenner in there. Thanks, Mum. What would you do without me? Probably turn into a radical fascist, bitter at the world, relying on alcohol to numb me from the pain and all the bitterness and hate deep inside me, until I found myself on a street and died on a particularly cold November night. The car pulled up. Strange boy. Nothing like that when you're in there, please. Okay, Mum. What time you picking me up? You don't know what time you finish? No. Whatever, just call me. If I'm at the gym, you'll have to walk. Oh, and tell Tom I said hi. Pfft, I don't know about that. What? Morning, Tom. My mum said hi. You really are a strange boy. Now shut the door. Guys, this is Daniel. I want you to welcome him to the team. As he looked at the little grey room, with 2 taken spaces, desks facing each other, with a missing seat, he had to admit the people looking at him demonstrated an extrovertedness that surprised him. Perhaps because if they didn't live their lives that way, the sheer dullness of this room would have made them kill themselves. How's it going, Daniel? I'm Ashley. Nice to meet you. Ashley waved at him with long painted nails and pearls on their wrists, with stubble on their chin and a warm smile. Hey. My name's Maria, said a beautiful dark-haired woman, who looked a couple years his junior, in very relaxed attire, a black vest top and skinny jeans. Daniel assumed she was perhaps Italian, but couldn't be sure. He was surprised she was allowed to dress that casual, but if it was up to him, he would have allowed her to do whatever she wanted to. As you know, I'm Tom, your boss, he said. Daniel grinned when he said that. Of course he had to say it like that. I gather you've never done anything like this before, said Tom. Yeah, sure. I've used the phone before. Tom laughed. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I don't think the guys here will mind me saying there isn't too much to it. They'll give you a quick crash course this morning, and you'll be on your way. It might not be the most mentally demanding job, but we're passionate about our customers here. We want to make a difference to their lives. You understand? Yeah, if I'm getting paid, of course I can be passionate about it. Ashley and Maria exchanged a glance, and after that, Tom laughed again. Don't worry, son. You'll be getting paid. But it's not just about that. We're here to offer a service. It's not just money that gets me out of bed in the morning, you know, Daniel. Daniel looked Tom up and down, at the designer suit, the shining shoes, damn they were shiny, and a glistening watch that was just exposed enough so everyone knew it was there, but he wasn't showing it off. You're telling me, Tom, that money isn't the main driving force that gets you here every morning, surely? Well, we all like money, Daniel, but it's not everything around here. Don't you offer rewards to people who have put X amount of money into a particular bank account over X amount of time? Seems like the most money-driven job there could possibly be. said Daniel. Yes, that is what we do, but we also offer a great customer service. Can you do that? Said Tom. Yeah, of course. I can do anything if the money's right, grinned Daniel. Very good. Right, Ashley, I'm going to leave this one in your very capable hands this morning. I've got a few calls to make, said Tom, walking over to a door and disappearing behind it. Ashley pulled up a chair over to his side that was on wheels and patted on it twice. Come take a seat next to me. Ashley showed him how they did their work on the computer. A call would come in. It would be someone wanting to see what they could redeem. They offered mostly holidays and other benefits, skydiving, scuba diving, etc., to rich people who hoarded money. A thank you for banking with whatever particular bank it was. You would go through some security questions, then they would authorise what you were entitled to. It was as simple as that. Then you would wait for the next call. There isn't too much to it, really. What made you want to work here, anyway? Asked Ashley. Money. It pays. That's it, really, said Daniel. Yeah, so you keep saying, said Ashley with a small laugh. To be honest with you, I'm surprised I got it. Why is that, then? What it said on the application. What was that? Something about it looking more favourably upon people from BAME and ethnic communities? Thought no way a guy like me was getting it after it said that. What do you mean, a guy like you? Well, straight, white, male. Just thought my chances would be slim. Boo-hoo, the plight of the white, straight male. Yeah, I know, right? You make it sound like you deserve sympathy. No, not at all, just a fair shot. And what makes you think you didn't have a fair shot? Well, the application form. It literally said it will favour people different to me because of my skin colour. Other communities deserve representation too, don't they? Yeah, they do. But that doesn't justify discrimination, does it? You're being ridiculous. I'm really not. Well, you're sat here, aren't you? I am, but that had little to do with the application form. What do you mean? Well, I think I'm only sat here because my mum slept with Tom once. Maria and Ashley started laughing. I feel sorry for all them people from ethnic backgrounds. They can't compete with that, said Daniel. Daniel had been set up on his computer, set up a login, and was away, dealing with the first two clients with ease, to the praise of Ashley and Maria. But the third had been very rude, frustrated they wasn't entitled to a holiday in the Bahamas. A weekend in south of France, in their words, was just not good enough, which had been their last words as they slammed down the phone. I see you got your first problem, said Maria with a smile. He didn't say anything about that, did he? Said Daniel, looking at Ashley. He noticed Maria's smile vanish and her head go down. He? Said Ashley. For once, Daniel was stuck for words. Why he? I don't know. I mean, am I wrong? Well, I don't subscribe to any traditional gender roles. It's a backwards, outdated notion. What? He, she. There is so much more to me than that, said Ashley. I'm sure there is, but just for future reference, Ashley, how would you like me to refer to you? My name will do just fine, thank you. That isn't a problem for you, is it? No, not in the slightest. It was a mistake. Well, the damage is done. I suppose I can forgive your ignorance in this incident. My ignorance, said Daniel. Yeah. If I have to educate you on such matters, I don't mind. You're quite young. I didn't think you'd be so narrow-minded, actually. Hold on a sec. What are you actually implying? Said Daniel. That when it comes to gender, you don't have a clue what you're talking about. I thought that was established. Well, I think you're going a little far now, said Daniel. Explain. Well, let me lay it on the table. I think male and female exist, in no uncertain terms. You're wrong. No, I'm not, said Daniel. Maria put down her phone, quietly, and watched the exchange with no shame, and mouth open. Ashley began. Male, female, boy, girl. Concepts that have done nothing to separate people into needless boxes. Divisions that have created struggle, oppressors and the oppressed. There is absolutely no need for these pointless categorizations. When a human being is born into this world, they shouldn't have to consign to these ideas. They should be whatever they are. They should be themselves. Male and female do nothing but to dictate to a human how they should act, which will always be at odds with the person's true self, and will manifest in anxiety and stresses, said Ashley. You need a man and you need a woman to make more humans. The categorizations are valid. They're integral to the survival of the human species, said Daniel. I confess, sure, biologically speaking, XX chromosome and XY chromosome exist, with almost a 50-50 distribution amongst the human race. One of each is needed for reproduction, true. But these ideas of male, female, boy like guns, cars, grrr, girls like Barbie, flowers, pink, it's just silly. I'm sorry, but these differences are inherent inside us. The manifestations of our biology, said Daniel. Wrong. It's ideology, said Ashley. Ashley? Daniel. Right, take the lion. Whether it's raised in Africa or North America, their attitude, the way they act, it stays the same. It's a part of their biology. And humans are exactly the same. And just because someone like you, with XY chromosome, biologically male, doesn't feel compelled to act in a typical human male way, does not give you the right to disregard the other 99% of humans on the planet, and deny that essentially the whole human story of civilization, just because of you, don't like, as you said, cars, spanners and lifting weights, and just because you don't go grrr, you are not that special. You don't get to rewrite history, said Daniel. Slowly Ashley pushed their chair out from their desk and stood. They walked past Daniel without a look, to the door at the back, the boss's office. They knocked, then walked in, and closed the door behind them. Maria stared at the ground, shaking her head ever so slightly. Daniel didn't break the silence. He watched the small red light on his phone glow. He picked up the receiver, and as merry as ever said, "Good morning. How may I be of assistance today?" he said with a big smile, looking at Maria, waiting for her to look at him, which she did, with a look of shock on her face. Daniel had returned from his dinner break. He had gone to a coffee shop he had found down the road, thanks to Google Maps, and bought an overpriced toastie from the attractive barista who stuck it in a machine for the courtesy of £5. How very kind of her, he thought, as he supped on what he had to admit was a delicious Americano coffee. Back in the office, Ashley did their best not to glance Daniel's way, as he answered calls with a surprising amount of good customer service for someone who had never done anything like this before. Deep down, on some instinctual level, he had a despise for these people. He was an honest person, but he could act. All three phones went quiet, and there was a silence in the room. Ashley's normal disposition would have filled this void, but they were not prepared to break this silence. That was a little uncomfortable. "So, how long have you lived in the UK, Maria?" said Daniel. "Why do you assume I am not from here? Your accent? Is it that obvious?" It's noticeable, yeah," said Daniel. "Funny. People have been telling me they can't even tell I'm not English recently." "Are these people friends by any chance?" said Daniel. "Well, yes, they are." "Well, that's probably why they've been saying that. They're just being nice. You can definitely tell you're not from this country," said Daniel. "Oh, I work very hard on my English." "Yeah, I'm not doubting that for a second," said Daniel. But there is definitely an accent, and there always will be. I don't think so. I do. I think I'd always be able to tell. Sorry, said Daniel. But I am doing my master's in English. So? What's that got to do with it? That's not going to take away your accent. Why do you care anyway? Asked Daniel. I don't care. I just want my English to be perfect. Your English can be perfect with an accent, you know. People from Liverpool to London all speak perfect English. Well, for the most part. But they have accents. A piece of paper isn't going to change that, said Daniel. A piece of paper? It's a little more than that, Daniel. Yeah, well, I don't really think it is. You have no idea what you are talking about. Well, no offence, but I don't really think it matters what test you take or what certificate you ascertain. I feel like my understanding of English will always usurp yours. Usurp? Said Maria. Yeah, precisely. It's just how I feel. I mean, just because you attend some organisation for a fixed amount of time, say some specific sentences in a certain way just to reaffirm what some lecturer already believes, isn't going to make me bow my head and say your understanding of the English language is superior to mine. That'd be ridiculous, said Daniel. It's cost me a lot of money. It's not ridiculous. Yeah, well, just because you spend a lot of money on something doesn't remove it from ridiculousness, now does it? Come on, you should know that. You know, you are really quite horrible. Horrible? Yeah, I think you are horrible. Horrible, said Daniel. Yes, horrible. Why do you want me to repeat it? I don't want you to, but I don't understand it. All I've done is offered my opinion upon a matter, and you sit there and have the audacity to call me horrible. I don't like you, said Maria. You know, just because I've said something that doesn't fit with your world narrative, makes you have to potentially perceive something in an alternate way, doesn't mean I'm horrible. To qualify as horrible, I'd have to do something that warrants that description, something malicious or evil. But I'm not sure if you'll completely understand what I'm saying, as it's not your first language, said Daniel. How fucking dare you talk to me like this? Who on earth do you think you are? That's when Tom came out. Is everything okay out here? No, it is not, Tom, said Maria, standing up. Somehow, you have managed to locate the most frustrating man I have ever met in my life, said Maria, walking over to Daniel and standing over him. You need to learn to keep your mouth shut, boy. Do you understand me? Daniel smiled and stood up. Maria, I believe in equality. So understand this. How dare you speak to me like that? Who on earth do you think you are? Coming up to me and raising your voice? What the hell gives you the right to do that? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What on earth is happening in here? You can't be acting like that here, said Tom, as Maria began to cry. What? You didn't say anything when she did it, said Daniel. It's a bit different, said Tom. You're right. She was the aggressor. It began when she called me horrible for no reason. It escalated, and I felt threatened when she stood up. I definitely felt threatened when she came over here, stood above me, and raised her voice at me. Kind of expected you then, as the manager, to intervene, but you didn't. And I had no option left but to defend myself, using precisely the actions she took against me. So, if you feel the need not to take issue with her but you do me, I find that highly discriminating. Would that be due to me being here only a day? Or is it because I'm a man and she's a woman? On what basis are we putting your prejudice on? Said Daniel. Daniel? Yeah? Can I see you in my office? Sure. Daniel, please take a seat, said Tom, walking round to the other side of his desk. What was that all about, hey? Excuse me? You saw how she spoke to me. Raised her voice to me, got nasty. There's just no need for that in the workplace, said Daniel. Daniel, we're here to talk about you. I think it's fair to say you haven't been getting on with the others, right? Well, honestly, I haven't felt a problem, said Daniel. Seriously? Isn't it fair to say you haven't been getting on? No, I don't think it is. Honestly, I don't have an issue with any of them. I mean, I really don't appreciate Maria, how she just spoke to me then, but I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt, said Daniel. I don't get you. Your attitude, I hope you don't mind me saying, but it's quite arrogant, said Tom. In what sense? Said Daniel. It just is. Oh, come on now. You can't make an accusation like that and not give me a reason why, said Daniel. Just the way you speak to others, the way you speak to me. It's offensive if I'm honest. Offensive? Tom, can you give me one example of me saying offensive things to you today? No, there isn't any direct thing you've said. It's just the way you go about it, the way you say things. The way I say things. Articulate and normally backed up with reasoning. I mean, don't get me wrong, Tom. I'm not saying I'm always right. And please, if you disagree with anything I do say, tell me. Argue it. But do it rationally and with reason. As you can see, so many people act with emotion just because you lay out some simple facts in front of them. And because they don't align with that person's point of view, they begin to get emotional, resort to name calling, and quite often get aggressive. It's really bad, said Daniel. The way you talk. It's like you've done it all before and done nothing wrong, like you're incapable of it. Maria's been here quite a while now, and I've never seen her act like that. You must have done something to really get to her to be like that. And I haven't even got into what Ashley is accusing you of, said Tom. Well, to be honest, it doesn't surprise me that Maria struggles with the truth. She probably hasn't had to meet it head on that much. She's attractive. Most of her adult life, men would have told her what she wants to hear. She met me, heard some opposing opinions, and it shook her. Someone obviously not dealing with the disagreement. And she resorted very quickly to aggression. It's quite disgusting, actually. Like a petulant child, if you ask me. Maria is not a child, said Tom. Ah, I've struck a nerve. I assume you're engaging in sexual relations with her, due to that irrational protection towards her. How dare you talk about my personal life? You haven't denied it. So it's true. Does your wife know? Or is it an affair in the classical meaning of the word? Said Daniel. You're a horrible little thing, aren't you? Excuse me? You heard me. Off the record now. You keep going like this. I dare you. Well, it was quite evident you didn't really care for me when you allowed Maria to walk across the office and berate me, aggressively, without a word. But now I defend myself. That's an issue. What's happening here? Said Daniel. Tom got up from his chair and walked over to Daniel and loomed over him. Oh, I see. It seems to be quite a common practice in this office intimidation, doesn't it? Did she learn it from you? Said Daniel. What is wrong with you? Right. I want you out of this building now. Go on. Get out of here. You're sacking me, said Daniel. At that moment, Maria and Ashley opened the door. Is everything okay? But for what reason am I being sacked? I haven't said or done anything wrong. It's not my fault you guys seem to have difficulties with the truth, said Daniel. At that moment, Tom picked Daniel up by the collar and pushed him up against the office wall and looked deeply into his eyes. You can't be that honest. Do you understand? Daniel smiled. Only a coward would say that. Tom, you shouldn't have. Daniel held his nose as blood poured out of it. Tom, said Daniel, I swear, one more word from you and I'm gonna... No, it's just my mum. She says hi. Well, hope you enjoyed that story. Hope you didn't find Daniel too irritating. Yeah, I think he said some interesting stuff, but maybe kind of not the guy you want to be around. Anyway, got another story coming up soon, a longer one, more bit longer than this one. And if you like and subscribe.